That satisfying click, the quarter sliding into the cart. You grab your reusable bags, walk through those sliding doors, and feel like the smartest shopper in America. But here's what Aldi isn't telling you. That German company you trust? They're playing a dangerous game. The bread on their shelves in Berlin is clean. The bread here is made with chemicals banned across Europe. Same brand, same logo, different standards. They know Americans will chase a bargain, and they're betting you won't read the label. We're about to expose 12 things Aldi is hiding from you. Things that would shock their own German customers. And by number 1, you'll understand why that quarter isn't saving you money, it's costing you your health. 12. The Yoga Mat Bakery. This is the number 1 reason I don't trust the Love and Fresh label. In Europe, bread goes stale. That is a fact of life. If you buy a baguette in Paris or a loaf in Berlin, you have about 2 days to eat it before it becomes a rock. That is because it is made of flour, water, yeast, and salt. But grab a loaf of Aldi's white bread here in the US. You can leave it on your counter for 2 weeks and it stays soft, squishy, and suspiciously white. How? 2 words: azotocarbonamide and potassium bromate. We touched on these with McDonald's, but they are rampant in budget grocery store bakeries. Azotocarbonamide is the yoga mat chemical used to make shoe rubber bouncy. It's banned in Europe and Australia because it's linked to respiratory issues. Potassium bromate is an oxidizer that makes dough fluffy and white. It's a category 2B carcinogen. It causes cancer in lab animals. It is illegal in the EU, Canada, China, and Brazil. But in the US, Aldi uses it to ensure their cheap bread looks perfect and never goes bad. They are feeding you a chemical that their own government in Germany has declared too dangerous for human consumption. You are essentially making a sandwich with 2 slices of cancer-linked chemistry. 11. The German double standard. Here is the thing that should make your blood boil. Aldi is a German company. In Germany, and most of the EU, food standards are incredibly strict. The precautionary principle applies. If an ingredient might be dangerous, it's banned until proven safe. If you walk into an Aldi in Berlin, the food is clean, the dyes are natural, the preservatives are minimal. But Aldi knows something about America. They know that our FDA is, let's say, flexible. They know that American consumers have been trained to prioritize quantity over quality. So, when Aldi crosses the Atlantic, they leave their morals at the border. They take advantage of our loose regulations to sell you products filled with ingredients that would be illegal to sell in their own home country. They are selling you the Americanized version of their products, which is corporate speak for cheaper, toxic, and synthetic. It's the ultimate betrayal. They know how to make safe food. They do it every day in Europe. They just choose not to do it for you because it saves them a few pennies per box. And the biggest offender? It is a bomb hiding in plain sight on the back of the box. 10. The bioengineered bomb. You've heard of GMOs, genetically modified organisms. People got scared of that word. So the industry did a rebrand. They now call it bioengineered food ingredient. All these private label brands, the ones you trust, like Millville, Clancy's, and even some of the friendly-looking dairy items, are absolutely loaded with bioengineered ingredients. Flip over that box of crackers or that cheddar cheese sauce. Look for the tiny text, usually near the expiration date or buried under the nutrition facts. You will see a symbol or a sentence. Contains a bioengineered food ingredient. What does that mean? It means the corn, soy, or sugar beet used to make that product has had its DNA spliced in a lab to be resistant to massive amounts of pesticides, specifically glyphosate, Roundup. This means the crops can be drenched in weed killer and they won't die, but that weed killer ends up in the harvest. And then it ends up in your budget-friendly cereal. In Europe, Aldi has a strict stance on GMOs. In many EU countries, GMOs are practically non-existent on store shelves because the labeling laws are so aggressive and consumer rejection is so high. But here, Aldi knows you're looking at the price tag, not the fine print. They are feeding you the genetic science experiments that Europe rejected, and they're doing it because bioengineered corn syrup is cheaper than real sugar. But hey, maybe you don't eat processed snacks. Maybe you just go for the chicken. Oh, you poor trusting soul. That's another lie. 9. The red bag chicken lie. If you are in any Aldi Facebook group, and yes, they are cults, you know about the red bag chicken. It's the Kirkwood breaded chicken breast fillets in the red bag. People go crazy for this. They say it tastes just like Chick-fil-A. They hoard it. They post pictures of their freezers filled with it. But have you ever stopped to ask why it tastes so good? Or why a piece of chicken can sit in a freezer for months and still taste juicy? Turn the bag over. First, look at the sodium. A single serving can have nearly half your daily limit of salt. You aren't eating chicken. You are eating a salt lick shaped like a patty. But keep reading. You'll often find carrageenan. This is a thickener and emulsifier derived from seaweed. Sounds natural, right? Wrong. It's highly controversial. Scientists have used carrageenan in animal studies to induce inflammation and intestinal issues. It is literally used to cause colitis in lab rats so they can test drugs on them. And you're eating it for dinner. Why is it there? To pump up the weight of the chicken with water and keep it artificially moist. You are paying for water and inflammation. And let's talk about the oil. It's likely fried in soybean oil or canola oil, highly processed, inflammatory seed oils that are often genetically modified. There's that bioengineered flag again. In Europe, there is a massive push for farm-to-fork freshness. Here, we get lab-to-shelf longevity. And if you think the fruit is fake, the salmon is worse. And speaking of things that look healthy but aren't, let's head to the produce section. 8. The zombie fruit phenomenon. Have you ever noticed something weird about Aldi produce? You buy a bag of peppers or a container of strawberries. They look perfect in the store. Firm, bright, shiny. You get them home, you blink, and suddenly they are covered in mold. Or, even weirder, they sit there for 3 weeks and never rot. They just sort of mummify. There are two things happening here, and neither is good. 1. The supply chain sprint. Aldi runs on a just-in-time inventory system. To keep costs low, they don't have the same massive refrigerated warehouses as other giants. The produce is pushed through the system incredibly fast. Often, it's been sitting in non-temperature controlled environments during transit to save energy costs. By the time it hits the shelf, it's on its last legs, even if it looks okay. You are buying fruit that is already in the process of dying. 2. The appeal factor. This is the new controversy. A company called Appeal Sciences has created a plant-based coating that is sprayed on produce to make it last longer. It's an edible skin. It's technically safe, according to the FDA, who also says Red 40 is safe, remember? But many health advocates are worried because you can't wash it off. It locks in the moisture, but it also means you are eating a coating made of purified mono and diglycerides. Aldi has been partnering with suppliers who use these shelf life extenders, so that apple that looks shiny and fresh, it might be weeks old, preserved in a layer of lab-created lipid barrier. In Europe, there is a massive push for farm-to-fork freshness. Here, we get lab-to-shelf longevity. And if you think the fruit is fake, the salmon is worse. 7. The salmon scam? Walk over to the freezer section or the fresh meat case. Look at the Atlantic salmon. It's a beautiful, deep, rich pink color. It looks like it just jumped out of a rushing river in Alaska. It didn't. Almost all affordable Atlantic salmon at Aldi, and honestly, most grocery stores, is farm-raised. Here is the reality of farmed salmon. These fish live in crowded, filthy pens in the ocean. They don't eat their natural diet of krill and shrimp, which is what gives wild salmon its pink color. They eat pellets made of soy, corn, and ground-up fish parts. If left alone, the meat of these farmed salmon would be gray. Gray! Nobody wants to eat gray fish. So, how do they get that pink color? They feed the fish a synthetic pigment called astaxanthin. It's literally chosen from a color wheel, like you're picking out paint at Home Depot. The farmers can decide how pink they want the flesh to be to trick you into thinking it's high quality. You are eating dyed gray fish. Furthermore, farmed salmon is often higher in fat, and not just the good omega-3s, but the inflammatory omega-6s, because the fish don't swim freely, they just float and eat. Aldi sells this stuff by the ton. It's cheap, but nutrient-wise, it is a shadow of real wild-caught salmon. It's the aquatic equivalent of a feedlot cow. And next on the list isn't about ingredients, but it is about your wallet and your brain. 6. The aisle of shame trap. We have to talk about the middle aisle, the Aldi finds section, the aisle of shame. This is not an accident. This is psychological warfare. You went in for eggs and milk. You are a rational human being, but then you see it. A cat bed shaped like a shark, a pressure washer, a 12-piece cast iron skillet set for $19.99. Aldi deliberately creates a scarcity mindset here. They rotate these items weekly. Once they are gone, they are gone. This triggers a panic in your brain. I don't need an inflatable kayak, but if I don't buy it now, I'll never see it again. They are hacking your dopamine receptors. And let's be honest about the quality. Much of the non-food stuff in the aisle of shame is cheap, mass-produced plastic junk shipped from overseas factories with questionable labor practices. It's fast fashion, but for home goods, it ends up in the landfill in 6 months. Aldi lures you in with cheap eggs, but they make their real margins on the junk you didn't plan to buy. They are turning you into a hoarder of garbage, 1 quarter at a time. But let's get back to the food. Specifically, the one thing everyone swears is high quality because it has a European label. If you're shocked by what Aldi is hiding, hit that like button and subscribe because we're just getting started. 5. The chocolate lie, Europe versus US. Now I'm going to ruin dessert for you. Aldi is famous for its chocolate. It's European chocolate! Everyone screams. It's Moser Roth! It's Chocur! And yes, some of it is actually imported from Germany or Austria. However, there are 2 tiers of chocolate at Aldi. There is the actual imported stuff, usually the darker, more expensive bars, and then there is the everyday chocolate used in their cookies, baking chips, and cheaper candy bars. Check the label. If it doesn't explicitly say made in Germany or made in Belgium, it is likely made in the US or Mexico using the same cheap standards as Hershey's or Mars. That means PGPR, polyglycerol polyracinoleate. Real chocolate uses cocoa butter to make it smooth. Cocoa butter is expensive. PGPR is a cheap castor oil derivative that mimics the texture of cocoa butter. It's a way to cut costs. The high-end Aldi chocolate doesn't have it. The cheap stuff? Loaded with it. Also, consumer watchdog groups have been finding concerning levels of heavy metals like lead and cadmium in dark chocolate across the board, including budget brands. Because Aldi sources from massive, low-cost aggregate suppliers for their private labels, tracking the heavy metal content of their cocoa beans is much harder than it is for a premium, single-origin chocolatier. You think you're getting a luxury European experience. Often, you're just getting standard American candy in a fancy wrapper. And that luxury deception continues right into the most important bottle in your pantry. 4. The olive oil dilution. Olive oil is liquid gold. It's the heart of the Mediterranean diet. It's supposed to be anti-inflammatory and amazing for your heart. But real extra virgin olive oil, EVOO, Aldi sells EVOO for prices that honestly don't make sense. How can they sell a bottle for $5 when it costs an Italian farmer $8 just to make it? The answer is usually dilution or mislabeling. The olive oil industry is notoriously corrupt. I'm talking agro-mafia levels of corrupt. A common trick is to mix a tiny amount of real olive oil with cheaper oils like sunflower, soybean, or canola oil, and then splash a little chlorophyll in it to make it green. Or they use lampante oil, oil made from rotten olives that fell off the ground, and chemically refine it until it's odorless and tasteless. Then mix it with a little virgin oil. Aldi's Carlini brand has been hit or miss in independent testing over the years. While they claim it's 100% EVOO, the price tag suggests that the olives are coming from the absolute bottom of the barrel, or the oil is nearing its expiration date before it's even bottled. If you are drinking a shot of Aldi olive oil for your health, you might just be drinking glorified vegetable oil. But what if you're on a diet? You head to the fit and active section. Bad move. 3. The zero-calorie danger. Let's look at the fit and active line. This is the honey trap for the dieters, the people trying to lose weight. You see that friendly blue logo? You see the words light or no added sugar, and you think you're making a responsible choice. You grab the light yogurt or the box of zero-calorie sweetener packets to put in your morning coffee. You think you are hacking your diet, but you are actually hacking your metabolism, and not in a good way. Flip that box over. First, you'll see the usual suspects, aspartame and sucralose. We've talked about these. They are the chemical sweeteners that studies have linked to everything from gut biome disruption to potential cancer risks. But in Aldi's private label, Splenda knockoff, there is a hidden villain that is actually worse than the sweetener itself. It is often bulked up with maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is a cheap, white, tasteless powder made from corn. And since this is the US, usually genetically modified, pesticide-soaked corn, it is used as a filler so that the packet actually has some powder in it because pure sucralose is microscopic. But here's the kicker. Maltodextrin has a higher glycemic index than table sugar. Let that sink in. Table sugar has a glycemic index of about 65. Maltodextrin can spike up to 100 or more. That means this sugar-free product hits your bloodstream like a freight train, spiking your insulin faster and harder than if you had just eaten a spoonful of actual sugar. You are buying a diet product that is triggering the exact fat storage hormone you are trying to avoid. It is a metabolic trap, and the yogurts, they are just as bad. When they take the fat out of yogurt to make it light, they also take out the texture and the flavor. Real low-fat yogurt looks like watery sludge. So how did they make it creamy again? They pump it full of modified cornstarch, gelatin, and carrageenan. You aren't eating fermented milk anymore. You are eating a chemistry set designed to feel like yogurt in your mouth. It's a cup full of inflammatory thickeners and insulin-spiking fillers, masquerading as health food. If you want to lose weight, run away from the fit and active aisle. But the cost cutting doesn't stop at the ingredients. Have you ever wondered why the cashiers move so fast it's almost scary? 2. The staffing secret, why you scan so fast. Finally, let's talk about the human cost. We all love the low prices, but have you ever stopped to ask why Aldi is so cheap? It's not just the bring your own bag policy. It's not just because they don't play music in the store. It's the staffing. Aldi runs on a skeleton crew model that pushes efficiency to the absolute breaking point. Have you ever noticed the cashiers sit down? You might think, oh, how nice. That's so European and civilized. Wrong. That chair isn't for their comfort. It's for speed. Sitting locks them into position where they can scan faster. They are literally tracked on their scan rate. I'm not joking. Every single item they scan is timed. At many locations, they are expected to scan upwards of 1,000 to 1,200 items per hour. If they drop below that number, they get flagged. They get talked to by management. That is why they fling your bread into the cart like they're angry at it. That is why they toss your eggs with terrifying speed. They aren't being rude. They are fighting for their metrics. They are under immense, relentless pressure to keep that line moving because the computer is watching every move they make. And the second the line dies down, they don't get to check their phone. Because at Aldi, there are no stock boys. There are no janitors. There are no bakery staff. The person scanning your groceries is the same person who has to run back and bake the bread. They are the same person who has to sprint to the back to pull a pallet of milk. They are the same person who has to clean the bathrooms. One person does the job of 3 people at a normal grocery store. While Aldi pays decent wages compared to some other chains, the burnout rate is real. You are saving money on your grocery bill because the human being across from you is being worked like a high-speed industrial robot. So the next time your cashier seems stressed, don't get mad. Just remember, your discount is coming out of their sweat. You are saving money because the human being across from you is being worked like a robot. But there is one final place where Aldi cuts corners, and it's hiding in your breakfast bowl. 1. The healthy cereal betrayal. Let's go back to breakfast. Millville. It looks just like General Mills. The balanced cereal looks just like Life. The crispy rice looks just like Rice Krispies. But compare the preservatives. Aldi's cereals frequently use BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, to keep the packaging fresh. We talked about this with Costco, and it's here too. BHT is an endocrine disruptor. It messes with your hormones. European cereals usually don't use it. They use vitamin E, tocopherols, to preserve freshness. But BHT is cheaper. So into the Millville box it goes. And don't forget the artificial colors. While Aldi US has promised to remove synthetic colors from some of their exclusive brands, you still have to be vigilant. Many of their seasonal items or special buys don't fall under the same strict rules. If you buy the generic Fruit Rounds, fake Fruit Loops, check for Red 40. Check for blue 1. Blue 1 has been linked to allergic reactions and, in animal studies, kidney tumors. But hey, it makes the milk turn blue, and kids love that. The verdict: is the quarter worth it? So here we are. You're looking at that receipt. You saved $40 compared to the other store. But what did you buy? Did you buy GMO corn that creates its own pesticide? Did you buy chicken injected with inflammatory seaweed slime? Did you buy gray salmon dyed pink with a chemical color wheel? Did you buy bread that is legally banned in the country where the store was founded? Aldi is a master of illusion. They use the halo of German quality to sell you American industrial sludge. They use the psychology of the treasure hunt to fill your house with junk. And they use the price tag to make you look the other way when it comes to ingredients. I'm not saying you can never shop there. They have organic, grass-fed beef, sometimes. They have organic berries, if you eat them in the car on the way home before they rot. But you have to stop shopping there blindly. You have to stop trusting the Simply Nature label without reading the back. Because if you don't, you aren't saving money. You're just deferring the cost. You're saving on groceries today to pay for healthcare tomorrow. The next time you see those sliding doors, ask yourself, is the discount worth the DNA-spliced, dye-filled, preservative-laden risk? Or is it time to shop somewhere else? If this video opened your eyes to what Aldi is really selling, hit the like button and subscribe. We have so many more secrets to uncover, and you won't want to miss a single one.